Those drivers didn't think anything could happen to them when they left home this morning, but it did. It couldn't happen to you though, could it? Accidents don't just happen. They're caused by a combination of factors: excessive speed, bad positioning, or poor concentration. Every year, 600 people are killed and over 61,000 injured on London's roads. They all thought it couldn't happen to them. Every day, we see examples of bad driving on our roads, and we always blame the other driver. Given the opportunity, we never criticise ourselves. Let's go for a drive and look at some ordinary, everyday examples of bad driving that could quite easily lead up to an accident. You never know, we might see you out there. Oh, now don't forget to put your seatbelts on. I know it's law now, but there's no doubt about it, it will save your life. Remember, anybody who's sitting in the front passenger seat must wear a seatbelt or a properly constructed child harness, and the onus is on the person sitting there, if he's over 14 years of age, to wear the belt himself. So if he decides not to, then he takes the consequences. If that person's under 14, then it's the driver's responsibility to make sure he's belted up. Now we're going to drive around the local streets of Harrow, having a look at some of the things people get up to. All the roads we're going to use are going to be subject to a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. But even at 30 miles an hour, the majority of accidents occur in built-up areas. We'll talk a little about driving techniques, positioning, anticipation, which is basically what advanced drivers do better than ordinary drivers. A lot of it is due to experience, but it's something you can learn. Then again, there are some people who will never learn. Now here's an example. There's no way that lorry's going to get through there with oncoming traffic, so he might just as well hold back, wait for a gap to appear and drive through safely. By pushing and shoving, all he ends up doing is blocking the road completely. He's wearing his clutch out there. Now he's going. We'll wait for him to pass by. And as soon as we can see it's clear, then we can go. Well, in fact, the van's moving off nicely for us. And if you get impatient during a drive, then all your other qualities go down as well. You can't be considerate. You can't be expecting the unexpected if all you're worried about is pushing on. Advanced driving in our terms, that is the police terms, generally speaking means making progress, but safely. It doesn't mean driving everywhere, flat out. These types of tight situations that we're going through now, there's no way you can go any faster than this with safety. There's large numbers of schoolboys out. Any one of them could want to dart across the road, so we've got to be prepared for them. Our lorry driver friend again. We'll just wait for him to move out of the way before we drive by. Remember, on a gradient like this, it's very easy for a car to overrun the 30 mile an hour speed limit, so you've got to check it back. Using the brakes, of course. You don't slow down by using the gearbox. You consider the price of a new gearbox to the price of a set of brake pads, and you can see why. We're going to turn right at these lights. Generally speaking, when you're turning right, you should turn with your offside alongside the offside of the other vehicle, unless it's inconvenient or not practical. And in this particular case, it's really not practical because there'll be no room to turn. So we'll hold back and wait for the oncoming vehicles to make their turn, making sure the Mercedes in fact is turning right before we move on. We're getting briskly up to our 30 miles an hour, making the most of the roads. There's a motorcyclist there, overtaking that lorry in that bit. Completely the wrong place to do it. And I would suggest he would be doing at least 45 miles an hour along there. Approaching a large roundabout situation. We're going to turn left, so we're going to take the near side lane. Looking to the right as we approach the dotted white line, which has no legal significance. It just tells you that there's a junction. Now look at that. Where did he come from? The less said about that incident, the better. There's our cyclist. He's looked quite steady. I'm not going to sound my horn at him. If I did, I've got to be at least, I'd suggest 50 yards behind him before I even consider the horn. If you sound your horn any closer than that, and he, generally speaking, will wobble. And of course, he's going to wobble right into your path. And an interesting point, the Lord Chief Justice some years ago decided that every cycle, or rather every cycle rider, is entitled to his wobble. Look at that car on our right there, pulling out. He's hoping, I think, that someone's going to let him in. As we approach our built-up area, our main problem is going to be parked cars, people leaving their parking spaces, other people wanting to get in them, and pedestrians darting out between the two. Motorcyclists coming up fast on our near side. Now I'm doing 30 miles an hour. I'll leave it to you to decide what speed he's doing. Close to 50, I would suggest. Hope that lady doesn't throw her door open at me. Good way sign there. Now she's gone straight across. Well, there we are. That blue car very nearly hit her. Clearly marked, dotted white lines and a give way sign. Plenty of vision to the left if only you'd stop and have a look. Similar junction there on the right. Now the red Cortina nearly did the same as that white Escort. One-way system, shops, car parks, people coming to and froing, pedestrians in the road, all these sort of things can give us problems. The car in front has taken the whole road up, reversing into that space. realise, I don't think, quite what happens to their vehicles when they do reverse. Two roads merging here, one from our right. Now in law nobody has right of way, but generally speaking they're quite a safe type of junction. Very few accidents on that particular layout. Freshly made Pelican crossing with no stop lines. We just have to use our common sense. Lorry. I think he knows what he's doing, but I don't, so I'm going to hold back. Now whether he not wants to reverse straight into that driveway or use that as a turning point, I don't know. Look at the driver's face and he gives us an idea. Now he's waved at us. That's where he's going. The Mini there messing around on our near side. Just hold back slightly. Short warning though, I'll drive past her, she's looking into the car park. Do you know, indicator from that blue Cortina? Either he didn't see that Reliant turning right, or the Reliant gave him a late signal, but we'd never know. Nice clear stretch of road. And we can see the learner's sign above the BMW in front of us. Unfortunately, learners bring out the worst in some drivers. They don't like following learner drivers, and they'll do their utmost to get past. Let's hope it doesn't happen this morning. The white Escort there parked himself behind the bus, when if he'd been out further he could have gone past the bus as soon as it stopped. Could be he's a frustrated bus driver himself. The tailback of traffic here. I'm not going to get too close to that lorry for obvious reasons. If he misses a gear, he's going to roll back.